So welcome to another edition of
Driving with the Savvy Accountant.
Okay, good one. So, question. This time of year, we see all these advertisements about spending money so that you can get tax deductions. Really? Is that why we spend? Is that why we make purchases?
This is the biggest question that we get asked, and we get clients ringing up last week. We're probably past that day, but last week of June. What's my expected tax bill? And when you go through the figures, they go, what can I do? What can I spend on? Can I just buy a new car and just go and spend money on anything just to get the tax deduction? Well, here's a simple thing to go on. Simple truth. I only spend money when it's going to, in fact, give you a return for your business. Never spend money with the main objective to give you a tax deduction, because that's a cost to you and your business. So if there's a real need, if there's going to be a return on investment, great. And sometimes there can be quite a considerable amount spent, and you get the tax benefit from that. But make sure there's a return on investment for you and your business. First and foremost priority. The tax deduction becomes an added bonus to the spending. So that's a tip on spending.
So first question is, do I need it? Any other questions that you should ask yourself? What about the timing of it? Is there anything that needs to be considered with that?
Not necessarily, but there are things we can do to obviously make sure that you get the most benefit from the purchase. That's why it's also good to speak to your accountant about the purchase and be aware of the traps. For instance, if you're going to go and buy a motor vehicle, and you feel that that's going to be, it's going to give you a return on your investment there, and there's some benefits to your business. Well, how much do you spend? Knowing that there are limits on how much you can claim for a motor vehicle is also important. So those things you need to speak to someone about.
Absolutely. Ask the questions before you spend the money.
Before the purchase, yeah, exactly right. And also other questions such as lease versus outright purchase. There are questions around that, cash needs of the business. So they're all things to think about and work out prior to the purchase.
We actually had that happen, didn't we, where someone purchased a new vehicle without sort of having a chat first and got themselves into a little bit of
exactly. So
struggle.
Well above the motor vehicle cost limit, and they didn't realise that it was just going to be so much out of pocket for them, and they don't get the tax benefit for a certain portion of that spending as well. So
what does that mean? That's like referring to a luxury car versus, or the ATO views it as such?
Potentially luxury car, but vehicles over a certain amount, they can't claim above that limit, and that also applies to the GST claim on those vehicles too.
That's why you check before you buy.
Before you buy.
Absolutely. Okay, good chat. Thank you for this edition of Driving. We could actually say Driving Miss Candace, maybe. That could be the name of this segment.
Yeah.
Bye.